How do we end up with toxin overload issues like heavy metals, mold, and or environmental toxins? So hi, I'm Megan. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and functional biochemistry specialist, and I get this question all the time because we'll see toxin overload issues kind of in general. And the biggest question is, why and how did this happen? And so let's break this down a little bit. So first we need to understand we're all exposed to molds, to heavy metals, to environmental toxins, and our body has natural systems to get it out of our body so it doesn't become an issue. And a lot of that looks like, we have our stomach acid production, which kills pathogens and helps reduce like toxicity load. Our liver plays a huge role in just our drainage pathways and pathways to get things that shouldn't be in our body out across the board, including these toxins. Our kidneys play a role. We have our lymphatic system. We have a couple other drainage systems in place, bowel movements, our stool, our urine, like all of these things play a really big role. Our brain drains itself every single night, assuming we're getting good sleep. And so that helps a whole bunch. So our body has these natural systems in place. The issue really comes into play when these systems start going down and or the body cannot keep up. And the body may not be able to keep up depending on the level of exposure. We'll often see this with mold. Just if you were living in a place that has a ton of mold or have lived previously in a place with a ton of mold, oftentimes the body just cannot keep up and we end up with mold illness, mold toxicity issues. Heavy metals, if you're using a lot of products that contain heavy metals, if you undergo a bunch of surgeries under general anesthesia, you can end up with heavy metal issues. There's a lot of cooking products, aluminum foil, water, what's in your water, like all of these things play a really big role. However, more commonly, most people are not having crazy levels of exposure, and it's more of the systems start going down. Maybe your stress starts to increase and you undergo several weeks, months, or oftentimes years of chronic stress, in which case our cortisol levels are going to rise, our stomach acid levels are going to start to go down, and our body starts to be able to handle that, yes, and long term it's not designed to be able to handle that. And then we might start having hormone imbalances, whether that's thyroid or sex hormones, if we're overproducing or we have high estrogens, high testosterone or androgen levels. Our liver's working to filter all of that out and get that out of our body. If we have chronic viral issues, if we get sick a whole bunch, our body's working to get that stuff out of our body. And if you layer enough things on top of that, at some point the body cannot keep up, and then we end up with these types of issues, these toxin overload issues. And as we start to end up with those, oftentimes other things are going to start to go wrong in our body. Thyroid issues, hormone imbalances, skin issues, gut overgrowth issues, skin issues, among many other things. And so if you want to learn more about this, Shannon and I did a whole podcast episode where we do spend a whole hour diving deeper into this and also where to start in your healing journey. Key phrase here, liver detox pathway support, go figure. And so be sure to go check that out. There's a link in our bio. You can also check it out on any platform where you listen to podcasts. It's Trifecta Collective, finding